Alrighty, how's everybody doing today? Today we're talking a little bit about Akami. Akami, he's a gremlin of a wolf. What else can I say about him? And I've seen him around quite a few times. I've even seen a few streamers using the avatar, and he's quite the little gremlin. Just a gremlin. What can I say? But I will say that the clothing assets that do come with him are a little bit. They're pretty standard. So I have given him the AfterDark treatment, as I do for most clothing sets. It's arm warmers, leg warmers, is a set of booty shorts, and a crop top for Akami. As you can see, my gremlins here in the middle of the screen. I haven't deinstalled them for the video yet, but we will do that here in a second. There's also going to be a belly button stud that's available as a separate purchase. It's going to be like $1 extra or something like that. So do pay attention for that if you are looking for such a thing, and it's not going to have a toggle on it. But anyway, if you have come across this project as a curiosity, or have already purchased it, thank you for thinking about doing so. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Akami, shall we? There's a few things as usual when it comes to doing the clothing assets for any type of AfterDark stuff that I produce for you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the prerequisites for them. So let's go ahead and take a look at your project. You're going to, of course, have to have them set up in VRChat's SDK 3.10.1 or newer. 3.9 it will work, but 3.10.1 is the one that this particular project is built on. You will need to have Polyami TuneShare 9.2.64 or newer, VRC Fury 1.1275 or newer, and the niceties to have is going to be the Gesture Manager emulator, whatever's newest, and AB3 emulator, whatever's newest. Audio link, not really super important, but it's a fun tool in case you do have any type of audio link on your avatar. Thrive's performance tools and GoGo Loco, whatever's newest on all three of those. And the reason why is because those are tools that will give you some guidance on how your avatar is performing as far as it goes, and giving you a work environment that looks and functions a lot like VRChat before you upload, so you can see exactly how this is going to function before you fire it live. So, as always, I do suggest that whenever you're working with an avatar, that you go ahead and make sure that you get your custom materials installed first, and then fire that off live to the internet and check it in VRChat to make sure it's actually functioning the way you want it to before you actually start adding any type of clothing or anything like that. It's mostly a precaution to make sure that you are not burying your avatar underneath anything else when you can't see things and things break. So, other than that, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and uninstall so we can get going on him here. So I'm going to do these two here, and the other one, that one, delete, just like that. So as if we had just started the project up, he is standing here, and he's got nothing on as usual. But as the first step of this install, from the downloads, you're going to get two separate files. Well, you'll get one file. You get the extra one if you pay for it. What can I say? The Akami AD file. This is the clothing asset. There'll be a couple other extra files in here too, but grab this Akami AD file, and you're going to drop it into the assets folder. I'm not going to do that because it's already installed in this project. And as said, if you do get the belly button stud, go ahead and grab this one and drop it in the assets folder after the first one's done. Once you drop one of these, once you drop the Akami AD file into the assets folder, you'll get a pop-up that says, "Hey, are you sure you want to import this?" Yes. Let it do its import. It's going to build the images, and it's going to compress and map with Kaiser, and it'll make your PC a little angry for a minute or two. So don't panic if it seems like it's freezing or locking up. Just let it do its thing. Belly button stud has a material that's metallic, so it's going to go pretty fast. So, but we're not going to worry about that right now. After it's done doing its thing, being a little cranky for a second or two, you'll see that your avatar will still be standing in the middle of the scene. I still need to go back and fix the fluff on mine, but complications. So now that everything's installed, now we can go ahead and start adding the clothing onto the avatar. So in the Akami AfterDark folder down here, you'll see that you have a bunch of file folders, and you'll have these two here. This right here is the FBX, and this is the prefab. Now grab this prefab. You want to drop it onto the base of the avatar. Incidentally, while I'm thinking about it, this clothing set will also work with the face track model. I just built it off of the body that has the non-face track stuff. So just keep that in mind. It'll work just fine. So as you can see, it's installed it. It's already there. It's sitting on him. The fluff is poking through and all that stuff, but the clothing will, as you turn it on, will cycle off the fluff and stuff as we go. But you're technically at the moment ready to upload. But you probably want to modify the clothing first, so give you your own flair on your colors, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at how to do that, shall we? So as to start with, you can see that he's already got the black latex on. So in the Akami AfterDark folder, you can see that there's this latex material sitting down here, right? Go ahead and select that. Let's say if you don't want the latex to be flat black. Let's go ahead and crunch this down a little bit. Yeah. Windows is always trying to think for me, and I absolutely hate it every time. There we go. There we go. So this is the black latex material, as you can see. Yeah, let's say if you don't want this to be, straight black, right? Change this color here, the color in alpha, and grab this one, and you change it to whatever you want. There we go. Anything that feels good, right? Okay. It does have a metallic layer on it, a metallics map on it. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. The metallic map down here is set to 0.7.7. It gives it kind of that satiny, rubbery look, right? Let's say that if you want to change it to, straight up chromized metal, turn the metallics all the way up, and turn the smoothness all the way up. And now that looks like straight up chromized metal, right? It looks like the bumper of an old car. Okay? Well, let's say you want to go the other way around, though. You want to make it look like old school latex. Grab the metallics and turn it all the way down, but leave the smoothness all the way up. And now that looks like shiny ass old school latex rubber. It's pretty good though, right? I like the satiny look, so I'm going to turn those back to 0.7 each. There we go. There is technically inside this material a second look buried inside it. So we're going to turn some stuff on so we can modify it. Go ahead and scroll up here to the decal 0, and we're going to turn the alpha to 1, and we're just going to scroll down to the matte cap 0 and turn its intensity to 1. So now you can see that you have this color shift chromatic look, right? Looks pretty good. This is what you would find on some of those high-end expensive cars you see running around in bigger cities, right? So, but let's say we want to adjust this so it's got a little more personal flair, and go up to this color bar in the decal 0. We're going to change this to something different. Let's go with this slightly bright teal. And scroll back down to your matte cap 0. Select this bar. And we're going to change it to something that fits a little bit better with that color. So we do something dramatic. Actually looks pretty good right there. A little bit of a highlight pink on top of a green. Once you're happy with the colors, we can go ahead and look at how to adjust the emissions layer on it. You'll scroll down to the emissions. The emissions make whatever's underneath glow, and it currently has the map in here for it. So it's using this map. So whatever's not underneath the black stripes is going to glow whatever color that is. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit so you can see what it's going. I'm going to crank it way up so you can see what it's doing. But you can see what's going to glow. It will automatically turn. You have a selector in the gear wheel to turn the emissions on and off. It only turns it to 0.5, which are obnoxiously bright. They really are. So even though I've got it cranked up way here, this would be eye-meltingly bright at this level. It turns it to 0.5 automatically. So it is light-based. But if you want the emission to be a different color than what's underneath, you can turn off use base colors and then change it to whatever you like. Do realize though that by doing this you can really mess with the way your colors look. If I turn the lights off, you can see what they're doing. It can really mess with the way your colors look because that is no longer the color scheme that you had on there before. So I would suggest very heavily that you use the base colors. So we're going to switch that back like that. Make sure your emissions are set to 0 because it's where it's got to start somewhere. Scroll back up to your matte cap, turn its intensity to 0. Go back up to your decal 0 and turn your alpha back down to 0. That way it has a place to start with so it can cycle back and forth. This is an animated material that you can turn on and off while you're in game. All right, once you're done with that one, we can go and take a look at the next material, which is going to be the fishnets. Select the fishnets folder down in the Akami AfterDark folder. Grab the fishnet material and drop it onto the 5 parts of the avatar's clothing. And I took my time to make sure that it's not going to glitch out very heavily at a distance. I think it's like 30 meters before it actually starts to moire pattern to the extent that it's not very good, but you're rarely ever going to be in an area where you're that far apart. But you can see that the clothing looks pretty dang good. Let's go ahead and select the material, and let's say that you wanted to adjust the color. This is my personal color. It's almost red, but slightly not. But let's say if you want it to be something else. Let's brighten them all up here. Let's say you want it to be something else, like, kind of a bright orange, right? Something like that. Okay? It does have an emission map, so let's go ahead and scroll all the way down and take a look at that. It is an emission map that is making whatever's underneath emit, but since black doesn't emit, I took the mask out to save you a little bit of VRAM, because 5 megabytes is still 5 megabytes. So since it doesn't have any particular areas where it's going to be a different color, I took the map out. If you need it, it is in the AfterDark fishnets folder. If you need it for something, in case you want to make it to use a other emission color rather than use base color, same way that you did with the other one. So it does have a custom metallic map. So if you are wanting this metallics, the fishnets to look a lot less metallic, you can grab the metallic slider and slide it all the way down. Do realize though that with the emission, it can look a little tiny bit flat and rubbery. So you might as well just leave it all the way up. Leave the metallics up. Just like that. So it has that metallic sheen to it. Okay. Once you've gotten this material the way you like it, go ahead and scroll the way back up and lock in Optimize Shader. We need to go back and do it to latex because we kind of forgot about it. But if you lock in your materials as you go, it takes up to 20% longer if you let Poyomi lock itself as VRC Fury or during upload per material. So you might as well just lock them as you go. So we're going to go and lock this one in since we're happy with the way it looks. Go back to the latex real quick. Select it, and we're going to lock it in too. All right, next set of clothing is going to be the stripes. So we'll go ahead and go into the stripes folder, grab the stripes material, and we're going to drop it onto the 5 parts of the avatar's clothing. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Derp. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of the avatar's clothing. I can count, I swear. And once you have it installed, you go ahead and select the material again, and we're going to change its color. The same way that we did on the other ones. Let's go with, how about a darker green? Something like that. It's good. Scroll all the way down in here so we can take a look at its emission map. Its emission map is an actual map, so you can adjust its color. You take the use base colors out and change it to whatever you like other than what it is. So do realize, like I said before, by changing its turning off use base colors, it can really mess with the look. So do be careful. That kind of looks brown. When the lights are out, it'll look red. See what I mean? So we're gonna undo that change. There we go. And always make sure that your emissions are set back to 0 before you exit this material. It does have a little bit of glitter that's embedded into the material. So if you don't want that turned on, you can go down to glitter and turn it off. It's just a little extra sparkle because why not? Scroll it back up. Once you've got this material looking the way you want, go ahead and lock in Optimize Shader. All right. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Femboy or the Fembo outfit. Go ahead and grab the material out of its folder and drop it onto the 4 parts of the avatar's clothing, and you can see it has a little bit of a punch through, so you can kind of see a little bit of fur underneath. It is badged properly, and this is using the Hooters official color, FF7514, I believe is the color code. I've typed that number a lot. Go ahead and select the material. You can technically edit it in Unity, but it will only go into the pastels. So if you want to do a little bit of an edit, go to Color Adjust, Hue Shift, and then you can just kind of give it a little push, but it's only going to adjust in the pastels. It's not going to go anywhere further than that. If you want it to be something specific, I do recommend going into the Substance Painter file and exporting a new copy with whatever color you want. There's no really easy way for me to make it anything other than Substance. Sorry. But we're not going to do this color adjust here, so we're going to undo this. There we go. Clap settle down. It has a custom metallic map in it to handle all the metallics on top of the fishnets, on top of the mesh here. So scroll down to your metallics. If you want that to look less metallic, you can grab this metallic slider and slide it down, but do realize it's going to flatten out all of the metallics on the body. So yeah, go ahead and leave that back up. It does have a custom emission map, so if you do a color adjust up above, you're going to have to do it again here. You do that by hitting the color adjust, and then using the same hue shift as you did before. But we're going to leave that off because we don't need it. Once you have this the way that you want it to look, go ahead and scroll it back up and lock in Optimize Shader. Okay. Now, with every avatar, especially the past like 6 that I've done, I think it's 6, I always try to come up with a material that's specific for that avatar. So he's kind of got the Japanese anime style kind of fit going on. He's got the narrow shoulders, the wide hips. So I was like, you know what? Gym clothing. So I went ahead and did the gym clothes. So go into the gym folder, grab the material and drop it onto the 4 parts of the avatar's clothing. Just like that. And it's got the dark blue and the white banding, dark blue and the white banding. And yeah, it was the only thing I could think of, really. And not only that, I mean, he kind of looks like a basketball player anyway. He's short, wants to be able to jump high, right? Sort of. Anyway, but yeah, this is the specialty clothing. If you want to do a little bit of adjustment, you can do the hue shift here, but it will only stay in the dark color range. So if you want to change this massively, I do recommend going into the Substance file and exporting a new copy. If you're going to Substance, you probably know how to do the material and stuff. It does not have a metallic map. It does have a reflection map in here, but it's not necessarily going to do much to it. It does have a little tiny bit of texture to it, because it does have, as you can see, it does have a little mesh patterning to it. It's very, very light, and it's compressed very heavily. So it's there. It looks like knit material, right? Once you got the material looking the way you want it to, it does have an emission map, but it's all blacked out because it has almost nothing on it. If you need the emission map anywhere, go into the folder where this stuff is located, and you can see it's blacked out. If you need the emissions for something, you can export a new copy of them from Substance. I did not put any emissions on it as a map specifically because there really wasn't anything to make emit. I mean, what else can I say? So, but once you got this material looking the way you want it to, go ahead and scroll all the way back up and lock in Optimize Shader. Okay, so that's all the materials. Let's go ahead and touch the belly button stud. If you did get the belly button stud add-on, it'll be in its own folder. It's Akami AfterDark, belly button stud. There's 2 files in here, right? And grab the prefab and drop it onto the base of the avatar. It does not have a toggle. Once you apply it, it's on the avatar. It'll be visible. If you don't want to use it, don't apply it. Easy as. The reason why I didn't add a toggle is because, with the face tracking, it takes up the face tracking on the regular face tracking model, uses up a butt ton of the other parameters. Adding another toggle is just adding another toggle. And since he really doesn't have any body blend shapes at all, I really didn't have too much to compete with. So he doesn't get a toggle for the belly button studs. If you want them, use them. If you don't use them. Easy as that. If you want to add a toggle, it's pretty easy. Just add toggle. You can figure it out. Anyway, once you got your avatar, got your clothing all sorted out, and you got all the proper colors on it, make sure you go back to the Akami AfterDark folder and grab your latex material and drop it back onto the 4 parts of the avatar outfit. That way it goes back and cycles to its original section, and now you are technically ready to upload. If you want to do a test environment first, you can, since we talked about it earlier, you can use VRC Fury with Gesture Manager Emulator to use a test environment of VR chat test environment in Unity, so you can check before you upload it. So if you do not have this prefab sitting somewhere in one of your scenes, it doesn't matter which scene it's in, go through Tools, Gesture Manager Emulator. You click this guy, it's going to drop this prefab into a scene somewhere. Doesn't matter where it's at, just make sure it's not nested inside an avatar. Go ahead and select that Gesture Manager Emulator and enter play mode. It's going to go through and it's going to pull all the clothing off of this FBX. It's going to tie it to the original FBX material and move it all away so that it's not destructive. So if you decide not to use the clothing assets or the belly button studs or whatever, it will not effectively destroy your project in the process. It'll add all the gear wheel stuff to it, so it's all in the right places, and here we go. So you can see the belly button studs, they're applied. They're in the right place, as you can see. They're attached. They do their thing. They're on. That's all there is to it. If you want to use them, use them. But we can go into the gear wheel now. Go into Next. Go into After Dark. We go Arm Warmers, Booty Shorts. Because he does have a profile. A little bit of scale, because some of us are a little bit more profile than others. You go Crop Top. Leg Warmers. Right? It's all the parts of it, right? Go into the Outfit. Chromatic. Shifty. Stripes. Green. Fishnets. Fishnetty. Fimbo. I would like an extra pile of wings, please. And of course the gym outfit. All these will cycle on and off on their own. Well, not on and off on their own, but they're individual, so they will not try to override each other. You do have the emissions on the Fimbo. It's very subtle, intentionally. Switch over to the fishnets. You can see it. It's very subtle in Unity, but in game, it's quite bright. Trust me. Stripes. Chromatic. It's very subtle in Unity, but it's quite bright in VRChat. Believe me when I say it. But once you've gotten it all uploaded, you've checked it, and you're ready to go ahead and hit the exit play mode. Go ahead and go to your VRChat SDK and fire it live, and you'll be ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoy this outfit. He's been a lot of fun to work with. He has turned into the #1 gremlin. That's when I need a gremlin in VRC. But anyway, it's been fun. I'll see you guys next time in the next one. I haven't decided who's next, but it's probably going to be the Atlas horse. I have discovered problems. But anyway, it's been fun. I'll see you guys next time. But until then, stay wiggly.